Oil prices are continuing to come under pressure today, continuing the trend really that we have seen for some time. We've seen some stabilization in the crude prices over the last week or two, really been helped by the actual overall sentiment in the market slightly improving. But as we've seen the sentiment dip again today, that's now taking its toll once again on oil prices. Now we're talking about oil prices that are already multi-decade lows, the lowest levels which we've seen since the early 2000s. And this comes on the back of two pretty dire dynamics as far as the oil price are concerned. There's the growth dynamic, the global growth dynamic, where we're now projecting a recession, a global recession over the course of this year. The severity of the recession as well will depend on the global response to the coronavirus. So that's going to heavily impact demand. And the other side of the equation is the supply side. Now, obviously, we're seeing an oil price war between Russia and Saudi Arabia, former allies of the OPEC plus arrangement. That obviously fell apart, and starting from the end of last month, so going into the start of April, now both sides are able to pump as much as they want. Saudi Arabia ramping up production, it seems, by around 3 million barrels a day, and Russia similarly. So this creates a dreadful dynamic for the oil markets. We've got a strongly oversupplied market with Saudi Arabia selling at a heavily discounted price, and a real lack of demand. Now, ordinarily in this scenario, we would still see a drop in oil prices. But what that would do is spur spending. It would spur people to use more because oil is cheaper. Then people may go on more holidays. People may drive more, and that would start to find to kind of balance things out there. Maybe provide a bit of a floor in oil prices. But this is not a normal time. No amount of low oil prices is going to get people on planes that aren't flying, or going to get people out of the house and into their cars. So this is a very unique set of circumstances which is contributing to the ongoing pressure that we're seeing in oil prices. Now, if we look at the WTI chart, for example, you can see that we are trading around these $20 levels. It has provided a bit of support so far, but I think people are still hesitant, and I still think there is a belief that there is further down to go. Already people are talking about $10 oil. $18 is the next level of support here. 20 is currently providing a little bit of support as well. There was even talk around theoretical negative oil prices. Now, I think this is purely theoretical. The idea being that when all the capacity is filled around the world in terms of storage, producers are either going to have to create less, or they're going to effectively have to give oil away. Again, this is purely theoretical, but it does get you in the mindset of the oil supply demand dynamics that we're dealing with at this moment in time. In terms of where above we could lie, I think it's a bit early doors, but $24, $25 is the next kind of big test to the upside here. We may see small bounces along the way, but again, I don't see either side of this supply-demand equation improving in the near term. There has been talk, for example, I believe a phone call between the US and Russia on this, but Russia is showing no signs of being willing to back down. All sides have generally have more to gain, it seems, in the near term by continuing this oil price war. The question's going to be, how long can each side sit it out? Saudi Arabia obviously has massive reserves. Russia also, but Russia also can produce oil at a cheaper rate than the US, but also at a cheaper rate than what Saudi Arabia requires to be fiscally neutral, obviously, because these oil sales do contribute strongly to the Saudi spending in their country. So obviously we do have a major situation appearing here, with no sides willing to back down at this moment in time. Oil prices are continuing to be pressured and are likely to continue to be pressured for the foreseeable future.